I know some of y'all are rejoicing right now because the time has finally come where I finally do a bed bucking video on DL Hughley. It has been a long time coming, but here we are. And it's a reason why I'm doing on him. Like I always like to try to figure out what can I talk about when it comes to a person like DL Hughley. And his most recent comments when it comes to the passing of the Queen definitely fits, but it's actually a little bit more deeper than that. So DL Hughley has basically come out and he wants to wave the flag for an individual excuse me, that he didn't even know personally, that she didn't even know him. But he wants to come out and say how people are lacking compassion and all types of stuff like that. And we like, nigga, sit down somewhere with your fake outrage having ass. The thing with DL Hughley is that he can never really stay 10 toes down on one particular thing. He always has to flip flop on different things, or he tries to spread himself out so thin on these different issues that it makes him appear like he's starved for attention. And in a lot of cases, he definitely could very well be. It's like he's on one side 1 minute, then he's on another side the other minute. Then when he's not on either side, he's straddling the fence. It's like DL, pick a side and just stay there. Like, just do that. But now he's come out and said that he is upset because the people on Twitter are celebrating her death. Now, I haven't read this article yet, but I'm curious to know or wonder exactly who he's referring to. Because keep in mind, I just did a video about that Michael J.P. guy, whose last name I just can't pronounce, where he was talking about Black Twitter not having a shred of decency when it came to the passing of the Queen. So I'm curious if DL Hughley is directing his so-called anger towards the same group of people, which would not surprise me if he did, because it wouldn't be the first time he's done it before. Much of the vitriol for the Queen is misplaced, according to British historian and author Dr. Tessa Dunlop, who on Friday's TMZ Live said the reality is QE2 had quote unquote no political power. In other words, all the British imperial agencies that people are protesting were not even her doing. Tessa adds Elizabeth was a strong advocate for the British Commonwealth, an organization of countries far different from the UK's conquering and colonizing ways of the past. DL Hughley says the folks who were celebrating Queen Elizabeth's death are pretty soulless, because even if they have a point about her legacy, the timing is in poor taste. And that's something that has been getting me. You have had people who came out and said, I understand why people might be upset about it, but it's in poor taste. And I keep asking them, was it? I'm like, if y'all actually knew the history of this woman, and not just even her, but her lineage, like I could point y'all into two different directions of people that y'all could listen to who really break down her legacy. One I'm still listening to, because the commentary is about 2 hours long and I'm on the second hour, and I'll probably go and finish listening to it after I'm done this video, and really digest how this woman got down, and not just her, but the people around her. You'll understand why that is. Again, I'm going to say in this video, like I said in the other one, if all these people are coming out against her and saying these things about her, it has to be a reason why. You would probably do best, and even at the least best, at the most minuscule, Google what type of stuff she had her hands in. Research is there. Utilize it. Don't just say, oh, throw the cape on and say, oh, this isn't bad taste, so this is a bad thing. It's a reason why. What was in bad taste was when Kobe Bryant died with his daughter and those other people in the helicopter crash, and the white feminists want to come out and start bringing up some old violation charges or allegations that weren't even true. Less than an hour after he's been pronounced dead. That was soulless. I want to know, was DL Hughley present front and center to say that was soulless? Because I don't remember him saying that. But he wants to, he most likely knew Kobe Bryant personally, but he wants to extend the olive branch to a woman from across the pond that probably didn't even know him from one of the diamonds in her crown. We got the Comedian Thursday in LA on the heels of QE2's passing, which sparked an unsympathetic response on Twitter, a ton of memes and jokes flying at her expense. While it was trending under Black Twitter, which I find interesting that they mentioned Black Twitter again, because it wasn't just Black people going in on her, but they have to make Black people the focal point of this. Granted, yes, we have some of the best memes and the best jokes and the best roasts, but we weren't the only ones out there posting these memes and these jokes and these roasts. And Black Twitter wasn't the only thing trending on Twitter the day that she died. I saw Irish Twitter up there too, but they don't get brought into the conversation. They had just as much to say about her than Black people did, but they never get brought up in these conversations. Now, the fact that they mentioned Black Twitter in this lets me know right before I even get to whatever DL's going to say, who he's directing this to. Even if he doesn't flat out come out right and say it, we know where his emotions or his feelings is directed towards. It says, while it was trending on under Black Twitter, that by no means represents the view of all Black people. Still, it was a thing. And DL's got some poignant thoughts about the notion of dancing on someone's grave. To him, it's a low blow and completely unnecessary, regardless of how you might feel about any one person. I got a question for you, DL. If a person did something very harsh to you, or someone close to you, and it could be a wide range of things. Even, I would say, let's limit it to, say, violations or deletions. Would you have this same stance? Now, mind you, this is someone close to you, not a complete stranger. I got to ask that question because it's almost like he's trying, he's again hopping onto one of his little fences that he likes to straddle from. The complaints that were being aired about the Queen had to do with her role in upholding the legacy of British imperialism, which often affected nations with Black and or brown people. Why did they got to throw in that brown people in there? They always do that. And to some, the fact that she was the figurehead for this old institution is something that just didn't sit well in 2022. But even if some of those critiques are warranted, DL's point here is that there is a time and place to get it out. And in his mind, that shouldn't happen right as someone dies. So it's like they keep making this, leaving this opening up for people to get off their chest what they want to say, but they want to come back and say this isn't the time or the place for it. Well, let us know, when is the time and place for it? And that's a rhetorical question. It doesn't need a response because the time and the place is whenever people feel like the time and the place is. And in this instance, the time and the place was right at that time. Not in the next hour, not in the next 6 hours or the next day, right then and there. And people still going off. And you know what? When her funeral happens, they gonna go off some more. Put plainly, he believes this emblematic of a lack of compassion and humanity that this current generation exhibits behind a screen, and DL wants absolutely nothing to do with it. Well, we don't care what DL wants. And notice he said current generation as if it isn't people from a past generation, like even before mine, like Gen X, aren't jumping in to say this as well. It's not just my generation. It's not just, or Gen Z, that are saying anything. It's other people, probably even from DL's generation, that is saying the same thing. But like I said, you have people like DL Hughley who wants to throw the cape on for all these different causes, and none of them really benefits Black people. He always speaks out against Black people. I don't know what his stance is on reparations. He probably is against that too, even though it would benefit him. I can't stand people who do this kind of stuff. Like I said, he cannot stand on anything. He literally blows wherever the wind blows, or wherever he can feel he can get his the most attention from. Now, ironically, I read this article from TMZ, and TMZ was the one that caught up with him and actually spoke with him about this whole situation, because look at who runs it. I don't know who's worse between them and the Russian. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I refuse to say their name on here. But yeah, DL Hughley, go sit down somewhere. No one's listening to you. No one's paying attention to you. You are literally in a party of one. He is his own echo chamber, where he is in that chamber by himself and his voice literally bounces off the walls. I'm sure that the walls are annoyed of him. That's where he just talks to hear himself talk for the sake of talking. Like nobody cares about what happened to her. Honestly, a lot of people out there do not care. But to make it seem like it's only black people, because that's really what it's being framed as, that's also very disingenuous, just like that guy had to go in on the other day. But anyway, y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you are new, make sure to hit that bell to be notified. If the bell for whatever reason does not work, I upload my videos in a Premiere style format, which means you can click the notify me button that'll be located at either the bottom left or the bottom right of the thumbnail, and the notification should come to you that way. The links will be down in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one.